Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm going to be showing off the new Winter's Touch card. So, Winter's Touch is a card that just got printed with the most recent mini expansion set that we had with LoR, the first ever mini expansion. And it's 4 mana burst speed, gain an empty mana gem, enlightened, I cost 1, draw 1. So it basically means if you're already at 10 mana, if you've already ramped and you draw this in the late game, it just turns into 1 mana draw 1, which is really cool. It means that it's not just dead, whereas things like Catalyst, they never want to make ramped cards just super dead. That's why they usually all have a secondary effect instead of just gain 1 mana gem. So Catalyst can randomly gain you HP in the late game. That's needed, which is probably the worst of the ramp cards. But for example, Wild Mysticism gives you a 6/6. It's oh, this gives you a 6/6 in the late game. This is just turns into 1 mana cycle to try and draw your Field Rush type thing. So yeah, basically this card got released, and a lot of people think this card's super broken. They're like, oh my god, Freljord just got buffed so hard. Ramp is getting buffed. Why is Ramp always getting buffed? It's so crazy. This card's broken. It's second best card in the game, next to Formula now. So we're here to see if that's really true. How much of a buff is this to Field Rush in ramp style decks? Obviously it's a buff because they just printed a good card. Anytime a region or an archetype gets a good card, it is considered a buff. But the question is it really the buff that makes FTR good? Because in my eyes, it's that FTR really needs a late game. We don't really need more ramp. It's that FTR really just needs a late game. Because at the moment, you're kind of just ramping into Field Rush, She Who Wanders, Tryndamere, stuff like that. But really, you don't need this because without this Winter's Touch, you see, we're not playing a 2-drop. You just go back to playing the 2-drop. You just play bases of the old one. Or you can play a third Catalyst, or you could eventually play Weirding Stones if you really need the ramp. But you just don't, because we have a bunch of ramp. So the question was not can we get more ramp? It was more what are you ramping into? And every time I try and look into this deck, it's basically just She Who Wanders. You just want to ramp into She Who Wanders. So I don't know. That's what we're here for today, is to put this to the test, see if this really is going to push ramp over the top, or if ramp is going to have the same issues as before of getting mana gems is cool, but what are you spending them on? So yeah, join me on my adventure with that today. But before we get into the games, I wanted to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button. I've been really consistent with this competitive content for you guys, trying to get you guys ready and prepared for these Runeterra Opens, get you guys prepared for the first official season of competitive that qualifies you for the World Championships. It can win you a ton of money from things like the Opens and World's prize pool itself. So if you guys are interested in that competitive, have a friend that wants to be interested in competitive card games or competitive LoR and wants to try it out once the season starts, send them over here so that way they can get a jump start and really start learning ahead of time and not just be thrown to the wolves when everyone's already ready to sweat and try hard for that first official open season. So that's going to be it for this intro. Let's play some games. Okay. All right, Jace Heimerdinger. So if opponent doesn't watch my videos and doesn't know how to play the deck, then they're not going to know how to win this matchup. In which case it'll be a free win for us. But if they do watch my videos over at youtube.com/emotional, which you should all be subscribed to, then they will know how to win this matchup, and it'll be fairly hard for me to really do anything. And if those of you know that how to win this matchup, let me know down in the comments below. Just say I watched your Jace Heimerdinger video and it was amazing, and now I'm rank 1 and the best player in the world, and it's all thanks to Mo. Everyone should subscribe and do the same. And if you don't know how to win this matchup, don't worry, because I'll tell you probably about halfway through this game. But yeah, let's try this out, man. I haven't played FTR in a very long time. So I want to see if the new ramp card has actually affected the deck really, because the biggest thing about ramp and the biggest thing about Field Rush in general is just that you can ramp fairly easily. Even before this new card, you could ramp fairly easily. But there really wasn't anything to ramp towards, if that makes sense. Because it was kind of a lot oh, we'll just go and play our unit here. Because oftentimes it was just oh, you would ramp really heavy, get a Field Rush or something, and then that's it. So let's go and swing here. We can trade it with a 1/1 and then a Vile Feast. I'm also down to just trade it with a 4/1, but this time I'm pushing 1 damage instead of them pushing 2 damage into me. Yeah, so let's see if they got the curve, if they know the tech. Do you have it? Hey, look at them go. Too bad it doesn't matter because I have a big boy. Too bad it just doesn't matter because I have a big boy. But they are at least on the right track. So let's go ahead and swingy with Mr. Trundle. Oh, just hex obliterating me. Okay, no big deal. I run hex obliterator myself. So we could even... I think we're just going to go ahead and vengeance this here. And then we can vengeance off like the Jace when they play it or anything like that. To 4 power worth of damage is kind of whatever. And we have so many vengeances that we're just not going to get to play them very often. And here, what we can do is we can kind of just Catalyst and then just Field Rush next turn and be happy. Yeesh, I was really liking the fact that we drew this Avalanche, but not really anymore. So let's go ahead and just wait for them to attack us so that we can play Catalyst of Aeons into Pillar, into Field Rush, and be happy. So yeah, again, like sorry, I kind of got off tangent, I think, but the biggest factor, or the biggest thing about ramp wasn't that you couldn't have enough ramp, but it was more that you're not really ramping into anything crazy. You're basically ramping into like just She Who Wonders and then just Field Rush, and those cards are obviously very good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying She Who Wonders and Field Rush are bad cards. I'm saying that it doesn't matter how much more ramp you get. It's the fact that you only really have 2 big hits that matter. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we just have big stuff here. We can just vengeance this if we need to. We have Atrocity in our deck for if we draw... Come on, buddy. Or if we draw it, even though it's slow speed, we're still playing 1 copy because we can just kind of throw it at the opponent's head. And yeah, this all looks fairly good to me. So we are going to pull this with... Oh, what is this? Like... yeah, so we can just do this. That way, if they... Yeah, they can do that and then still not kill it. Oh, Hex Obliterator? Dang, that's pretty rough. This guy has double Hex Obliterator, so they're probably just on the, like, triple Hex Obliterator. That is very close to the variant I was running, which is multiple Hex Obliterators over the Vengeance. Let's see. So we do have Harsh Winds to stop any type of crazy Hex Accelerator Gate stuff. So if they do that, we can just play, like, Ice Pillar into Harsh Winds and then next turn Field Rush again. I'd be very happy. The only thing that would kind of suck here would be if they got Spell Shield, but I'm not too worried about it, if I'm being honest. And, like, just this on Spell Shield is kind of whatever. But to roll Spell Shield on this would suck, but they don't get it. So here's a Pillar to level up our Trundle. And then, like I said, we can just either Vengeance something if we need to, or we can just simply Harsh Wind, keep our Pillars alive, make sure to pull their Jace next turn, stuff like that, and be happy. Okay, I mean, 2, so you're gonna put my Trundle to 2. I think that's okay. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and kill off this Jace and be happy with that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this. Another thing I could do is I could just not risk my Trundle dying. I think this is the safest play. Like, if I was in a tournament, this is the play I would do. So I'm just gonna do that for you guys because I want to give you guys a good, accurate representation of what, like, top plays would look like. And it's gonna look something like this. And the reason I'm gonna do this is because I don't want to lose my Trundle, because my Trundle is very good. I'm going to play Field Rush now for a second time. And then, yeah, just attempt to kill my opponent here. They could have, like, exactly Ruination, and that would make me sad, because it would pop the Tryndamere level up, and then, you know, kill the second Tryndamere. But they lose their board. We have another Field Rush to pull out the third, or sorry, no, this is the third Trundle, to pull out the third Tryndamere, and still potentially have that as a win condition. So, we still have a lot of pressure here, and again, their out here is exactly Ruination. It really can't do anything else. So if this is their play, I mean, they're very clearly just dead. So we're going to click OK. We say goodbye there. They could have done that on Tryndamere. Actually, I wanted to even kill Tryndamere because he gets plus 4 HP. But we pull here, and we're pretty happy. They just don't have enough to block. They're going to hit for 20. Pull with the Jace, and cool. So yeah, very cool. Just multiple ramp. The extra ramp didn't help this game. Not really. And that's really what we're going to base all these games off of. It's not like, oh, did we win or did we lose? It's, did that extra piece of ramp really help us? And right there, I'm going to say, no, it just really didn't. It was the fact that we drew double Field Rush while not being pressured enough to get punished by it. All right, so Ezreal, Seraphine. with like one Victor. This is fine. This is not something too crazy. We are going to keep one Field Rush because our deck has so much ramp in it. The odds of us finding ramp are fairly high. And She Who Wonders is truly just the GOAT in this matchup. Truly, truly amazing. And also, you guys want to know a fun fact about She Who Wonders. When this card first came out, or like when LoR first came out, a lot of people, including myself, thought that this was a nose. Basically, up until extremely recently, a lot of people thought this was a nose. They thought it was like a sideways shot, like, oh, the creature is moving this direction. And then so it's like her ear or horn or whatever is like up here, and this is like a nose or like a beard type thing. And it was actually not too long ago before people realized like, oh, wait a minute, no, that's like a kind of frontal angled thing. Where it's like, oh, this is like her face, and these are just her sideways horns. I think the Bailey Little Legend Guardian really helped out with that discovery in the LoR community. But yeah, for the most part, sorry, I was debating if I wanted to play Aristocrat or the Winter Touch. For the most part, a lot of people thought that was like the nose and it was a sideways thing, and like that was her eye, and people just assumed they had like two really big eyes. Like glowing eyes on each side. But this is fine. I'm down to trade this into like the 2/2, but we can just pass and wait. We don't have to do anything crazy quite yet. We do have She Who Wonders, so we have all the ramp in the world. Like I said, this is why we kept the big stuff, because we know we're not getting pressured in this matchup very much. So we can go ahead and do this. We force out a Cloud Stance. I think it's okay. I think we're gonna just Winter's Touch here and pass. Force them to use their mana, force them to use the Cloud Stance on the Ezreal here. Sure. I will trade my 2/2. Like, there's not really any good trades for them here. If they want to pass and not play this Ezreal's Mystic Shot, that's okay with me also. But again, really, we're just ramping. So that's fine. They leveled up everything. And then we will Quietus here, force out the Cloud Stance from them. And then if they want to keep this Ezreal in play, they have to play it later on. I don't particularly care about, you know, this Quietus on this. Quietus is never going to hit when they have Cloud Stance in their hand, so I did it post-combat also because I didn't want to take the 2 extra combat damage. And yeah, but this is basically over, right? Because we just do this. Next turn, we could have kept the 1 mana, so next turn we could Field Rush. So that's like the biggest case. And honestly, that's what I should have done. I didn't count my mana. I thought I would have had enough mana to Field Rush this turn anyways, but I didn't. So that's very much on me, my mistake here. So let's go ahead and just, I mean, we have Vile Feast here, stop some damage, because we're just trying to not die, right? So we just do something like this. We just try to save as much HP as possible. We play She Who Wonders, we just blow everything up. We blow everything up, including Seraphine's in their hand, Ezreal's in their hand, Victor in their hand. Everything is a goner, so we can just pass. Not too much they can do about this. And yeah, and we're pretty happy. So the question is, like, do you want to play Field Rush or do you want to play She Who Wonders? I personally like just playing She Who Wonders first because it gets any cards out of their hand. Whereas if you slam Field Rush, it doesn't like immediately win you the game or have immediate great impact outside of they're just gonna go like, okay, chump block with my 2/1, chump block with my 2/2. Whereas with the She Who Wonders, buddy, you have to play card here. Yeah, drop the bomb, sure. Whereas with She Who Wonders, it doesn't let them just play champions out of their hand afterwards. Like I said, with Field Rush, you play your champions, they say, okay, chump block, here's my Ezreal, here's my Seraphine, open attack, like do crazy stuff. But this doesn't let them do that because it's going to kill the Ezreal that, you know, we know is in their hand. We are losing our Trundle, yes, but I think the fact that we're trading a minimum that we know of, oh, sure. I mean, that's fine by me. We know that we're trading a minimum of 1 champion for their 1 champion makes me happy. And yeah, like, we're going to lose our She Who Wonders, but I don't particularly care. Like I said, we have Field Rush as backups, so is what it is. Like, this, assuming it hits at least 2 champions in their hand, we're really happy. Let's see, how much of their hand is gone? Oh, wow, nothing, really. So their hand is literally 100% spells. That is insane. Their hand is 100% spells. That's pretty unlucky. I think that's probably like the unluckiest She Who Wonders we could have had in this matchup, but that's okay. We have Field Rush, we could apply some pressure here still, so they have like bar, they have only spells, sure. And yeah, we're just gonna apply some pressure here with our champions, get to play Pillar, all that fun stuff. And we're still just applying a decent amount of pressure, so for them to come back is gonna be very interesting. Okay, so we got this going on here. We have Mr. Pillar to play next turn to make this an overwhelm. We can frostbite anything that we need to, and then just play another field rush and just keep applying pressure after pressure after pressure. It'll be kind of hard for them to come back. Their Seraphine's not leveled yet, which is good. Their Ezreal's not leveled yet, which is good. They have 10 cards in their hand, so they have to constantly play cards out of their hand. Otherwise, they're just going to mill cards. And yeah, I think all in all, this is an okay spot to be in. Not the greatest spot to be in, but I feel fairly confident. So again, but really again, we're not really playing this deck to see if it wins or how good the spot is in the meta. The question is more, did the extra ramp really help us out here? And in this case, I'm going to say yes, because I think I misplayed my 1 mana. Otherwise, I could have had this field rush, like, 2 turns ago and applied even more pressure. That probably would have won us the game. And yeah, being able to have that extra point of ramp, because we did draw it here, really, really did help us out. I think if I would have not miscounted my mana and been able to field rush on turn 7, I would have been in a much better spot. So here is an Ice Pillar, because we want to give our Trundle that overwhelm. We want to be able to threaten lethal. Want to be able to threaten lethal here. Seraphine, sure. So we're just going to do this. And again, we're just going to apply a lot of pressure, force them to play a bunch of spells in their hand, somehow not die. Even if they don't die, we can probably still kill the Seraphine here. Actually, if the Seraphine flips, we can't, because it'll be a 0-5, and Quietus only hits 4 power. Or sorry, 4 total, like, power and toughness. So even if it's a 0-5, it's not going to get killed by Quietus, which is pretty sad. What is this? This is Ben. Oh, so they burst speed leveled Seraphine. That's never good. You never want them to be able to burst speed level Seraphine. You always want to hope that they have to, like, at least waste 1 card on not getting doubled, but is what it is. Sometimes they kind of just get there. And yeah, I think all in all, if I would have counted my mana correctly and then played the Field Rush on turn 7, this game would have been good. Also, again, that She Who Wonders low roll was like a ridiculous low roll. The fact that they had like no other units and no other champions in their hand outside of a singular Ezreal is just extremely unlucky. So it's just extremely, extremely unlucky. The good news is it's going to be kind of hard for them to kill us without a second Ezreal. If they have second Ezreal, then like, I guess they have it. But if they don't have second Ezreal, it should be fairly hard for them to kill us through the Frostbites. Like, they don't have the cheesy, oh, play Victor, give him Elusive or Overwhelm, and give him 20 power this turn type kill. It basically just has to be from Ezreal burst speed killing us. So let's see. So they're really trying to take out this Trundle right now before it regenerates everything up. So if they're spending all of this mana and all of this time, again, not while they have an Ezreal in play, that makes me very happy. Okay. I wonder if they forgot that they already played a Mystic Shot. That would be great. That would be great if they forgot that they already played a Mystic Shot and that was their plan to kill. Nice, because now they have to do this, which is really nice. That's really good for us, actually. The fact that they have to spend a whole nother card on that, it was actually insanely good. So we pass here, and we're probably just going to Field Rush this turn. Again, only way... Oh, nice. That's a really, really good card. I hope this doesn't get pulled out of our hand. I mean, we're just going to go and Field Rush. I hope this stays in our hand so we have it for lethal. Nope, it pulls it out of our hand. Dang. Yeah, we were really hoping that it stayed in our hand just for the fact of... Oops, okay, pretty interesting. Just for the hopes of being able to get that +8 damage if we needed it. So draw some cards here. Double bar, pretty good roll from the opponent. Opponent drew pretty well, considering how well I also drew. They drew really well to dodge me. They already drew one Ezreal. They drew the Seraphine. So now they're going to try and kill off my Trundle, I assume. And again, this is kind of why I wish I had the Tryndamere in my hand, so I could buff up one of my units that were attacking. But they also just don't have that much mana, because if they spend all their mana, they could kill off like exactly Trundle. They still have to deal with 2 really big Tryndameres that aren't easy to kill. Like, you can't kill them, right? You have to stun them or silence them or something. And then Yeah, that just sounds very, very hard for them to deal with. And then, of course, I can always just draw, like, my one of Atrocity and kind of win the game that way. That's okay. Don't really care about that. We know that they have the deal 2, or sorry, deal 3. Okay, they're drawing a bunch of cards. They are doing stuff. This game is most certainly not just, like, in the clear. That does kind of make me think they're not going to be able to kill my Trundle, though. Which is nice. Because it's going to take 1 mana to deal 6, and they have to deal another 4. They could do that. I mean, they have the second part of the... Like, they have Mark II, right? So... They very much could get there. They actually have exact mana to get there off of Mark II plus plus the 1 mana, what's it called? No elusive, no challenger, please. Nice, good stuff, good stuff. So what are they playing here? What was this? Trinket trade, double trinket trade. Okay. I mean, we just have to hope we don't miraculously die here. My opponent's playing 0 mana cards. And yeah, we just have to hope that we can somehow survive. They're still going. They're still going. Worst case scenario, we can always just chump block Victor with like a Tryndamere, and then it'll level up, kill off the Victor. This Tryndamere will also level up and get bigger and harder to kill. So again, it forces them to have just like more and more cards. They still have enough mana to kill off my Trundle here with just the simple Aftershock plus Mark II. Yep, that's what they're going for. Aftershock, and then Mark II kills it. But they still, again, had to deal with both of these Tryndameres. If they don't do that, I mean, we just win. So, let's see. So there's the Mark II that we knew was in their hand. Okay. So, again, quick attack into us doesn't matter because it'll quick attack kill the Tryndamere, which levels him up, and we have a good blocker. Okay, a block of unit has 3 or less power. Okay. That doesn't matter at all. We're gonna take like 3 damage here. Okay. Sure. Prank. Yep. Sounds good. 7 mana Harsh Winds. Oh no, they did this one? Wait, what did they do? Oh, they like gave it vulnerable. Oh no, okay, 7 mana Harsh Wind, sorry. My game was just a slight delayed. Oral Squire, sure. I mean, we can go ahead and just like kill this guy off. We know one of their Trinket trades made them the 2 mana draw card unit, so that's good. This is good for us. So now we're only we're still only taking 3 damage, but at the cost of their Seraphine and their Victor if they choose to full swing. So let's see. Interesting, because we were gonna kill the Seraphine anyways. Okay. I mean, yeah, that like did nothing, right? Oh my goodness, they drew into that. Are you serious? That's actually the best thing they could have drawn at this point. Wow. I mean, sometimes you just get outplayed, right? Like, sometimes your opponent is just better than you. And this is what happens. But no, really, I lost this game by not keeping my mana open for the Field Rush on turn 7, because I would have had so much more pressure if I had that extra attack. But also, again, the point of this video is just to kind of see if the ramp was very important, and it really was this game. It was very important. Having that extra ramp card made it more consistent for us to have the ramp and have the ability to Field Rush on turn 7. So I misplayed by miscounting my mana, and of course, got unlucky with the She Who Wonders, but all in all, it's okay. I should have played better. I should have won that game. And it was thanks to ramp. Like, ramp definitely won us that game if I would have played correctly. So cool. So far it's like 1-1. The first game ramp didn't matter. Second game ramp mattered. Cool. Let's see what the tiebreaker is. But Mr. Best of 3. Okay. Let's see. Oh, great. Azir Irelia. Really, really horrible matchup. But let's see if we can do the stuff. So this is a matchup where ramp is going to be extremely important. And having that extra ramp should be beneficial for us because She Who Wanders should absolutely destroy them if we can get it down in time. And we'll see. We'll see if we're actually able to get it down in time or not. So, Ancient Preparation, that's fine. We do have at least one ramp spell in our hand. We really need like 3 ramp spells, to be honest with you. Like, we kind of just have to completely ignore the board and then just triple ramp and try and She Who Wanders on turn 7 before we die. If it's anything else, we probably just lose. Unfortunately, they seem to have a very slow hand here. If their turn is like just Azir, I'm pretty happy because we can just Vengeance the Azir, right? And be happy. That's their whole turn. We are super happy. We're just going to ramp. And then we can just try to kill off the Azir later on. Yep, there's the Azir. That's fine. We only have 1 ramp spell. We need a minimum of 2. Really need like 3 if we want to try to win consistently. We can just pass here. They should also just pass back. They really shouldn't be holding mana open for anything. And that's fine with us. Like, the lower, slower this game goes, the better. There's an Emperor's Dais. I am just going to play Trundle. We still have Frostbite if we need it for something. I expect them to be some sort of like recall, all that type of stuff. Oh, no recall. Okay, nice. This is very good for us then. So we can just pass. This is okay. And we can just block up here. Save some HP. And then we still have the Trundle to be able to block the Aurelia if we need it to. Because we have Frostbite. So even if they have like Shapestone or something, we're still pretty happy. So we can just do this, and then Vile Feast here. And yeah, we're actually going to gain 1 life, go positive +1 here, and be happy. We have Hit That Stairs to destroy Dais if we need it. We still have Vengeance on the Azir if we need it. They don't have the Recall and Blade Dance card, which is pretty good. And yeah, we're pretty happy about basically everything going on here. And if they do play the like Blade Dance card, if they do play the Blade Dance card, that means they don't have mana for Deny, and we can just Vengeance the Azir. So this makes me happy. Our opponent is very happy with clicking that pass button. I don't really know if that's correct. So let's go ahead and just Ice Pillar. Level up our Trundle. And then, like I said, we really need to be able to cast the She Who Wanders. If we just had like 1 more ramp card, we'd be able to Field the Rush and stuff like that this turn. So here, let's go ahead and just try to Vile Feast this guy. Let's go and try and Vile Feast the 1/1 here. Let's see what type of protection they're playing. If they're playing the Deny, the Recall, anything like that. Fortitude, okay. So now the question is, are we going to just try to Vengeance the Azir? I think so. I think we can just try to Vengeance the Azir and keep Flash Freeze. I don't think Hit That Stairs is really the play here. And I think being able to kill this Azir is really good for us. It's going to alleviate a lot of pressure. So we can just go block. Really block. And this is pretty good for us. And then we have the Frostbite if we ever, like, absolutely need it. This Aurelia is going to level on this attack, but it should be okay all in all. Blade Dance, sure. Okay. This is, again, fine by me. Just do pass. Block. Pass, and then we have the Flash Freeze if we absolutely need it. So if they do some crazy, like, swappy boppy stuff, we have Flash Freeze, and then eventually play the She Who Wanders. We can even play Hit That Stairs next turn, and then just, like, kill everything. So this does level that Aurelia. So this does level the Aurelia, but we are just going to block here. If they swap in the Aurelia, don't think I really care. Okay. So this is also why I blocked here. 1, because it blocks the most damage overall. But 2, if they want to push damage with this Aurelia, and that's their goal, then we can make it so they don't get that extra attacker. But this is also fine by me. They also aren't going for a Shurima Shuffle type lethal, which means we don't have to super block. We basically just have to block the Aurelia and the 11-13. The Shurima Shuffle, for those of you that don't know, is if you have 2 Aurelia Blade Surges in hand, or 2 Blade Surges, you kind of have to block everything, because this guy, I'm pretty sure, could have, like, guaranteed a lethal on me, because I only have 4 blockers to his 6 attackers. And so he could have had like shuffled Aurelia to an unblocked spot and then that Aurelia into the sparring student, but they didn't do that. So because they didn't do that, we can just simply block things like this. Kind of, actually we're gonna do this. Maybe not. Let's just do this, try to kill everything, force them into some sort of swapping scenario here, and then be okay. Yeah, they're gonna do that. And then we can just frostbite here. And then the reason I'm okay with like sacrificing all of these cards anyways is because like these 1/1s are going to be dying to my It That Stares. They're eventually going to die to the She Who Wanders. But this all is okay. We're going to be able to give the Aurelia vulnerable. So if it somehow lives, we can just kill it. And then It That Stares here, dealing 3 damage to everything is really, really, really good. So let's deal 3 damage to all other units. Attempt to wipe the board completely. Again, if they have like Twin Disciplines or something like that to keep the Aurelia alive, it does have that vulnerable keyword on it, so we're able to do stuff like that. Cool. And now we just kind of get to push lethal, because this is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 16 damage coming in. So not quite lethal, but almost lethal. Oh, 18 damage, sorry. And then we do have Frostbite for this if we need it. We also do just have this, like, She Who Wanders. So it really depends. If they just play like a singular unit here, that's the best case scenario. If they just play like one unit, like if they just play one more something, like that's really good for us because now we just blow everything up. Now we just get to blow up both of their units. So playing that Deus was really, really good for us. The safest play would have still been to just keep open Harsh Winds mana. Because I actually don't know if there's a way for us to lose. Actually, yeah, I guess if this one is Twin. No, because Twin only gets +2. Yeah, there's no way for them to buff this up. So, yeah, you can keep Aurelia alive, and that's fine. Yeah, so this play overall is pretty good. And then, yeah, we can let you, like, Blade Dance onto us. I don't particularly care. I think we still might be looking not good. Because we're going to take 6 here. Oh, but no, they're only gonna have 3 blockers. We're gonna be able to block everything. So yeah, so we're fine here. We're gonna lose like 1 unit here, probably lose our Trundle, but because they're just not super wide. Same thing here, by the way. Block the Sand Soldiers because it blocks the most damage, but because if they want to push damage with this Aurelia, which is what they have to do to try to win, they don't get to keep the unit as a blocker back here. So this is fine. They're gonna get to attack with only 3 units. We just triple block everything, and be happy. Be happy. And the next turn, we just get to open with another She Who Wanders, force them to have another spell in hand, and then just, like, win the game. We could also just open attack, but just open attack is weak into things like, you know, like Random Homecoming or Palm or something. So Atrocity is also good. So let's just go and She Who Wanders, just kill their Aurelia, kill any unit in their hand also, force them to have exactly a spell. This looks like it's a spell. Retreat. I mean, that doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything, but I appreciate the I respect the valiant effort. Respect the valiant effort. So, all right, in this matchup, did ramp matter? The answer is yes. We didn't draw it, but you can't really fault it for not drawing it. It's just like, did having the extra piece of ramp, would it have helped this matchup? But the answer is yes, by far. Because this is definitely one of the matchups where you just need to ramp super, 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 super hard. Fortunately, our opponent didn't have the best hand in the world. But unfortunately, we didn't draw all of our ramp pieces that we really wanted and needed. But because the goal was to just ramp super, super hard, having the option and knowing that we are running extra ramp because of Winter's Touch was really, really good for us. So all in all, that's going to be 2-1 in favor of extra ramp cards being good and being able to play more and more ramp being good. Super Degenerate is good. So yeah, I'm really a fan of this card. I'm really glad it got printed. I think going further from here, I hope Riot doesn't print any more ramp cards as much as I hope that they print more finishers, like more payoff cards. Like, give us another She Who Wanders type card. You know, give us another 10 drop, give us another 12 drop, give us a 13 mana card, you know, stuff like that. Like, give us something to where it's like, okay, I ramped really hard. Please tell me I hit more than just like my 2 payoff cards here. like, you know, if you don't hit exactly Shield Wonders or Field Rush, then what good does all that ramping really do for you? So that's really the biggest issue with ramp decks like that, is that we have the ramp cards. We have all the ramp cards in the world. I mean, like, look at this. Like, gain a mana gem. Oh, gain mana, maybe? Gain mana. Okay, what if we just said mana gem? There we go. Like, we have ramp cards, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can make a whole deck of ramp cards here if you really, really needed ramp. But the big thing is we just need more payoff cards is the big thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully Riot sees that as well and notices and puts just more finishers into our game. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Deck code for this, again, is going to be down in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts on ramp. Do you think ramp even needs more payoff cards, or do you think that would be a little bit too over the top? Because I've heard people say ramp sounds kind of broken. You know, Tron in Magic the Gathering was very, very strong, but some people thought it was just too degenerate, too stupid, too, like, why do they get payoffs for just playing, you know, mana? So let me know what side of the fence you're on that type of argument. Me personally, again, I think it's fine. I just want more payoff cards, as long as the payoff card doesn't just instantly say like, oh, I win the game, type thing. So yeah, super excited with how LoR is going. Really like that they're willing to print more cards like this and like Formula. So super cool. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.